Hello, we are Geeks Assembled. I'm Lee, there's Susan.
Hello.
And this week we're discussing a film from 1986, what's sort of brought back nostalgia, based on a novella by Stephen King called The Body.
Mhm.
This is Stand By Me, a big hit at the end of 1986. A story of four kids going on a trek to find a dead body to be heroes in the community. And it's a story of their 2 day trek. So we will go to Susan and her opening thoughts on Stand By Me.
Stand By Me has the coolest cast of young character actors around. I mean, it literally is the start of the career of Will Wheaton, River Phoenix, Corey Feldman, and Jerry O'Connell. Though if you just mention any one of those, like Will Wheaton, right from here into Star Trek, um,
Yeah.
River Phoenix into Mount Private Idaho, all those cool movies.
Yeah.
The Gus Van Sant connection. I just wanted to meet him when I was when I was in film school, but he ended up, taking his life. And then Corey Feldman, who was partnered with Corey Haim, that was the Coreys for a while until Corey Haim died. But then Corey Feldman has done a lot of cool stuff after that, and Jerry O'Connell married Rebecca Romaine, and their project 2 summers ago, or two sort of fall season a season ago, was a kind of reality show based on the Love Boat, and
Yeah.
that was quite. It was must see TV for me. Anyway, these guys go on a journey of self-discovery and friendship and unity, and yeah, it was amazing. And yeah, like the character of Will Wheaton, Gordy LaChance was back in the city narrating the story. So I'm just wondering if you're okay with that narration.
Play,
There
play
is a
back.
little of that nostalgic narration thing happening. Richard Dreyfuss,
Yeah.
stated that.
I don't mind narration like that. It's when it's in like an audio form and it's just someone reading a book. I can't stand that.
Okay.
In film, yes, it's him telling the story. Then it goes into the movie, and occasionally you get him talking over the movie, and then
Yeah.
it's back to the movie. That I don't mind that.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay. All right. Good. Well, Richard Dreyfuss just doesn't do any camera on camera, except for a couple side of the face shots, some
yeah,
profiles in a car, and then the rest of it all was the back in the, like, must have been the mid um late 70s, early 80s kind of time frame
for what?
for the discovery of the body.
No, it was set in the 1950s.
All right, maybe it was just that that's when I felt that way. That really must be it, because that's when I went on my adventures with my friends.
Right.
All right, fine. All right, but we had, um, yeah, and there was, yeah, uh, Vern hears his brother talking to uh, Casey Simasco, his brother was Billy, and he
Yeah.
was played by Casey Simasco, and Ace Merrill. No, I'm sorry. Who else was it? It was, well, it was Billy and somebody else talking about this body that they found and getting the reward. So, and Vern was underneath the porch trying to find this jar of pennies that he'd buried. He,
Yeah.
he had a treasure map, but his mom had thrown it away. So, and he hears about it, and they all go off and they do this thing. And I liked that beginning. I did enjoy how they came up with the plan to do this thing. And then they get out there on the road, and none of them had brought food, none of them had brought in water, none of them really brought anything except for Vern brought a comb.
Well, you got to look good, haven't you?
Yeah, and Teddy was, reliving the Foreign Legion, the French Foreign Legion. Then, see, here I was like, oh, it must be Vietnam, but that's me. That's from my childhood. I must have this big freaking filter on this movie. So smacking full of my history. Like we used to go out and play Vietnam and stuff.
Yeah.
So apparently in Teddy's mind, that's the Corey Feldman character. It must have been the French Foreign Legion because he was singing the song about the paladin, and a lot of the time that
Because
music.
his surname was French. The character's name, played by Corey Feldman, was Teddy Duchamp.
Okay.
So there you go. There's where the French thing
Oh,
comes in.
French Foreign Legion. Okay, I get it. Okay, all right. Yeah, so that's it's such a good film. It's got beautiful scenery, directed by Rob Reiner, who uh, on my in my heart he's amazing. Uh he's a greatly compassionate person, and he's got such a great storytelling ability, and he was in All in the Family himself as a young man. I don't know if he did stuff as a kid, but you know, he really captured that. And then uh, Reno Gideon and Bruce Evans wrote the screenplay from Stephen King's novel. So I don't know, but I enjoyed it. And so over to you, Lee. Did you have it drag you into your path?
Uh, yeah, I can understand the nostalgia thing. It was set. The movie was set in 1985 with the Richard Dreyfuss character, and he was looking back in his younger days and it was set in 1959.
Okay.
Um, because he finds out that one is it the River Phoenix character Chris has been killed, stabbed in a restaurant because it's
Yeah,
he's
and
reading it in the newspaper.
and he,
Um,
he was a lawyer.
yeah, so he starts to reminisce about his childhood friends. Um, yeah, I can understand why the nostalgia thing works, but you've got some great actors in this, as you say. River Phoenix was destined to go to big things, but sadly, we know what happened. Will Wheaton went down a route of the science sci-fi route, as you said. Uh, Corey
And
Feldman,
he and Anne are
yeah,
are great. They like Rob Reiner really are politically kind of generous souls. Anyway, go on.
So Corey Feldman, who went on to star in some great cult classics movies.
She's
He's
so amazing.
just lately though he's been telling things what have been going on in his past about uh, child abuse, what happens in the movies. Um, so it's been playing on his mind for more than several years. Jerry O'Connell, um, a little chubby Jerry O'Connell in this, uh, but he went on to do other things, known for Sliders, the TV sci-fi show, and went
Definitely
on,
spiders, yes.
and Kiefer Sutherland as the bad guy in this. Went on to do many things. The Lost Boys, 24, you name it. He's been there. Um,
Yeah,
Great cat.
Sutherland and Corey Feldman were together on Lost Boys.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, just a tale of those 2 days of them trekking. But it's like nothing much happens in the movie. Um, yes, they cross a train line and they have to run. Yes, there's leeches in the water.
Mm.
Yes, they do find the body. And that's it really. Um, I know it's a movie about French because the last thing is it's Richard Dreyfuss. He's writing a book. He's writing a book about his childhood friends because they're the greatest friends you'll ever have in your life. Is your friends from your childhood, and I got a bit emotional about that.
Mm.
Watching that bit because I lost my best friend. It'll be
Really?
5 years, 5 years ago this year. I lost my best friend of 40 years from school, and I got a bit emotional because I agree. You will never ever have friends like you did when you were growing up as a kid.
It's true.
Um, I mean that bit got me, but
Oh,
it yeah, it's just a very simple story.
yeah,
Uh,
no kidding.
it's just a hot summer's day, whatever. 2 days there, they're as you say, they didn't get no food. They only had pennies, uh, or nickels and dimes, or whatever you like to call them over there. And that's it really. I enjoyed it because it's the nostalgia kick, which why this was successful, I think. Because back then, people thinking about the 1950s, the music, hanging about with your gang of friends in your tree house. You got to have a tree house.
Huh.
Uh, I mean, they even called the movie "Stand by Me." The Benny King song, which I found a bit strange because this is supposed to be set in 1959. Benny King didn't record that song till 1960 and didn't release it till 1961.
Oh, but that's a more I don't know.
I'm thinking, well, how can they use that song in 1959 when it wasn't recorded until 1960?
Well,
Uh,
just because it's a great song.
it is a great song. I mean, on the
Probably
su- on the
because
su- on the success of this movie,
it.
that song re-entered the charts in 1980, early 1987, and got to number one in the UK by
All right.
Benny. Yeah, so it refreshed his career.
Yeah,
I think it recharted in America as well, a top 10 hit.
it must have.
But yeah, I was just thinking. I didn't think, I thought Stand By Me. I don't think it was the 1950s. I did my homework.
Right. Okay. The nothing much happens except for you're drawing into a conflict with the older boys,
Yeah, yeah.
and you can see how tough they are by them playing male
But
baseball.
but
You
what happened?
you're driving 40 miles an hour,
Yeah,
which is about 70K,
yeah.
and
Well,
you
the,
have it
the,
in your hand, and you're swinging it at mailboxes, and so it really is that when you're trying to show how tough you are, you're supposed to be able to knock the mailbox clean off.
I mean, it's like the confrontation at the end between the gang and the older gang. I was expecting a little bit more. You know what I mean? Because the elder gang just turned away and walked away. Really.
Well, they brought a knife to a gunfight.
Yeah.
They
Well,
didn't they didn't realize that the younger boys were better armed than they were at that point. I mean, and that just wasn't you never heard of kids doing that.
they had one gun.
They had one gun, but
How many grown up? How many members of the older gang was there?
they had lots of rounds of ammunition.
But as we well know, one shot, he'd have been flat on his ass,
Well,
and then the elder gang would have jumped him.
yes.
So that's what I was expecting. I was expecting a brawl, but no, they just turned the back and walked away. And I thought, oh, is that it?
All right, and then they also did battle. Okay, okay, hear me out on this one. They also did battle with Chopper in the knacker's yard, or the the laydown yard. What do you call that?
Junkyard,
Junkyard, kind of. Yes, exactly.
yard, yeah. But really, it wasn't really a threatening dog, was it?
Well, maybe not, but he did hear sick balls.
Yes, but when he got over the
I
fence,
mean,
there it was,
the
rolling
the
on its
the,
back.
the conflict was all up here.
Mm.
A lot of it was for the boys. It was up here.
I mean, talking about, I mean,
They made risky decisions. I mean, they could have gone all the way down, 5 miles down river, and then 5 miles back.
yeah, I mean,
There
talking
is
about,
Castle
it,
Rock in Oregon, by the way. Castle Rock is an island in the middle of the Pacific, off the coast of Oregon.
really, it's made. I read it was made up. The film is set in the fictional town of Castle Rock.
Yeah, but named after an island in the
All
Pacific,
right.
off the coast of Oregon.
Uh, but yeah, mate, don't get me wrong. It is a good friendship movie, a coming of age movie. Um, but I was just expecting a bit more. All right, the walking for 2 days, sitting by the campfire, telling each other stories about eating pies and barfing on the. But it
Ted,
just for me, there was just something missing from it. That was all.
Teddy was, or Gordy was such a good storyteller. His brother even tried to tell his parents to listen to him, and his parents never did.
And who played the brother?
Uh,
John Cusack.
John Cusack, yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean those scenes with the mother and father as well was quite sort of disturbing because they'd lost the elder son in which I can't remember what war was it. I can't remember which war now, but
It would have been World War II if it was set in the 50s.
yeah, but, but
Or
then
yeah,
his parents, because he got it in his head that his parents just didn't like him.
Uh-huh.
Um, the elder son was the apple of the father's eye, and his mother, after he'd gone, they didn't really want to know him. That was sort of hard scenes there. So
Yeah.
he was going through a bit there. But as I say, it was just missing something for me. I can't put my finger on it what it was, but enjoyable movie though. I mean, so what stands out for you, Susan?
Well, like I liked this the I liked the story that he told about the pie eating contest,
Mm,
and I liked this the way that I liked the way that the that Vern just kept interrupting him. I just thought that was hilarious. And then I liked the I liked the way that they sort of paired off and walked together that way.
mhm.
And each one of them was involved in, like, Superman versus Mighty Mouse or whatever.
Well, no, but Mighty Mouse isn't real. Superman is.
Yeah, yeah, that's where I went. And then and it's emotional seeing this movie with River Phoenix in it.
Yeah.
And but you get caught up in the nostalgia. This one more than in other movies like that are playing on it. Like I don't get the same feeling when I watch Back to the Future or whatever. I don't get nostalgia for the past. I do get excited for the future, but not there's nothing really uh satisfying about not it's not as satisfying, let's put it that way, as this movie is for the depth of feeling. And yeah, other than that, it was I I liked the train scene. I thought that was great. The
Mm.
junkyard scene, and the song that was going through my head is "Bad Bad Leroy Brown, baddest man in the whole damn town, badder than old King Kong, meaner than a junkyard dog." It's just like that's what goes through my head when I see that scene. I got it's got a good soundtrack.
Hmm.
They use a lot of really good incidental musical numbers, and they sing it and they dance to it, and it's just fun. It like sort of catches them up. And yeah, the perspective that they have the rest of their lives together, and then 50 years or 45 years later in my case, um I remember the way I was at age 10 and 12 and 15 and stuff, and
Yeah.
how much I really wanted to have the eternal summer, have my friends and me around all the time. And there were periods in my adulthood where I would create moments like that, but you could never get back to the way it was when you were a child. And um yeah, it's just a beautiful movie, and the acting is fantastic. like you do lose sight of the Wesley Crusher, character
Hmm.
in Will Wheaton in this movie. So that's good. I mean, he does his own thing. His Gordy is so good. And yeah, so those are the things that stand out. You?
Well, I like the camaraderie of it all. Um, the friendship between the four. Um, really, the story. It's a simple story.
Mhm.
There's not really any complications in the story. Um, it's from A to B, and it's just them, as I say, just them walking to find the body. Um, as I say, nothing really stands out for me. I mean, the acting, as you say, is brilliant. It has got a feel good vibe. As you say, it's got for me personally, it's the feel of school, summer holidays in the sun with your friends. But just for me, there was just not enough in the story for me. There needed to be something else. Uh, I don't know what. It's just missing something for me. So, so
But would
what
it have been better had the body gotten up and tried to eat their brains?
hope?
Would it
The
have
bottom.
been better had the body gotten up?
It's not a zombie movie. I would have maybe say with the Kiefer Sutherland, I would say he could have got his comeuppance or something, or you know, something like that. But it was just missing something for me. So, what would you? What's your? Let's go to final saying score then.
Okay.
What would you say?
I'll give this 10 um 10 leeches out of 10. I really I thought that the leeches moment was there was truly a little bit of body horror there for young Gordy. And
Yeah.
the fact that he was bleeding from a part of his anatomy that he probably didn't want to be bleeding from.
Well,
Well,
I'm going to give this 8 leeches on your ball sack out of 10
mm,
because that's where they were hanging off.
yeah.
Um, yeah, that scene there was a good scene.
Oh boy.
It was a good because fainted. Oh, I've never seen anyone faint before. But
Mhm.
yeah, it gets an 8 out of me off me because so there was just something missing. There was an element to it missing for me.
So
Um,
I, you would like it if one of the kids had, actually put a bullet in Kiefer's in the Ace Merrill character, Kiefer Sutherland
not,
character.
not maybe not kill him, but maybe in the leg or
Oh,
something like that. Instead of the gang just turning away and going, put up a fight.
huh.
But yeah, still a good score for me, 8 out of 10. Um, as I say, I can understand why it was a success because nostalgia is a big thing, and it always will be. Um,
Uh huh. It,
so that is our review of Stand By Me. Um, have you seen it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Or was you like that? Let us know. Leave a message below on the video. Um, leave a message below if you'd like to join us. Um, join us in these videos we do. You'll find us on Facebook, X, and places like that, YouTube. Um, please if you want to join, please be 18 plus. That's all we ask. You just need a camera and a microphone on the device you use. And please press the bell notification on our YouTube channel, and you'll get notified every time we put something up of interest. And that usually is everything we put up. Isn't that right, Susan?
It's right.
Everything is of interest, even if you're not interested. So there you go. Wet that one out. So until next time, guys, be, stay close to your friends. Keep in touch with your friends, because you'll never know when they're not going to be there. So until next time, guys, be
It's
safe.